5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Concerns over both isolated and scattered storms over the next couple of days. Extreme heat and humidity have us under a weather impact alert tonight. I'll have the timing on both coming up.
Tonight, a vigil to remember the life of a man found dead inside the St. Louis City jail.
Still don't have no true understanding to this, and I don't understand why did it happen to my child.
We're tracking the family's fight to get justice. And protesters marched through the streets of St. Louis, voicing concerns about cuts made by the Trump administration. How neighbors say they plan to fill in the gap.
5 on your side starts now with a weather impact alert.
Another day of high temps and dangerous heat in the St. Louis area. Here's a live look at the Arch as our area prepares for another hot day tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, everyone, at 10. I'm Robert Townsend. Well, let's get right over to meteorologist Jim Castile with a check of our weather impact forecast. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, hi, Robert. So that heat continues. You know, the heat index is well over 100 throughout the entire day, and we're still at 94 for the heat index around St. Charles and 93 in Chesterfield. So through Tuesday evening, it looks like Monday and Tuesday will be our hottest days, where the heat indices are well over 110 in some areas, especially around the metro. So the heat index and those overnight lows around 80, both of those combined, we just don't get a break. So stay hydrated, use the AC. It's going to continue to be very hot. We had that extreme heat warning for the metro, and that's been extended further east. But we do have showers and storms popping up right now in Lincoln County and also right through Jerseyville and northward. We go a little bit further here. We'll watch these. Nothing severe is expected, but downpours and some frequent lightning, and a flood watch is in effect just north of the viewing area. So we have a lot of weather here, even though that, you know, the heat continues, but we have a giant cool down also. By the end of next week, we're going to see some 80s for highs. I'll have much more on our forecast coming up in just a bit.
Just a moment ago, St. Louis County Police called off the search for a swimmer lost in the Merrimack River. Now, officers say the swimmer jumped head first from a sandbar west of Highway 141 and did not come back up. Helicopter crews and boats using sonar equipment couldn't find anyone. Fire and emergency response crews are still on the scene. However, we're told they are preparing to leave. Tonight, the cry for accountability grows louder at the St. Louis City Justice Center after a detainee was found dead inside last Saturday. A vigil for Samuel Hayes Jr. wrapped up just in the last few hours. New tonight, 5 on your side's Annie Krall is here now speaking with Hayes' family and their attorney as they stood just outside the walls of where Hayes took his final breath. Annie.
Robert, I was able to hear it was a tearful scene outside the City Justice Center tonight as Hayes' family and friends remembered the 31-year-old father. Hayes was being held on first-degree murder charges and had been inside the jail for more than a year. His mother, Anita Washington, said the Justice Center let her down.
Because I still don't have no true understanding to this, and I don't understand why did it happen to my child.
Samuel Hayes Jr.'s parents were surrounded by loved ones on Saturday night, watching balloons sail high outside the walls of the St. Louis City Justice Center. Police say Hayes, who was expected in court in August regarding his murder charges, got into a fight with a cellmate and didn't listen to verbal commands on July 19th, so he was strapped to a restraint chair.
But I'm also more so hurt, you know, just to see how they did my son. Should no kid have to go through this. This was grown folks. This was grown people's, man, handling my son. It
was a horrific scene for his mother, Anita Washington, to watch on surveillance footage this week. Less than 2 hours after Hayes was put in the chair, he was found unresponsive and pronounced dead at a nearby hospital.
That was the most hurtful thing in my life. A parent should never have to witness this. And I witnessed my son taking his last breath.
Jack Waldron, the family's attorney, says the jail broke several policies, including not checking in on Hayes every 15 minutes while he was in the restraint chair.
The first thing we saw is that Sam was coming out of the cell. He was limping. He was in bad shape. He wasn't resisting at all. He shouldn't have been in that chair because he was clearly not doing well.
The city's medical examiner has not yet shared what caused Hayes' death.
for what I saw on the video, it's quite a few people that needs to be accountable for my son.
His passing is the 20th death inside the CJC since 2020, but the first under Mayor Kara Spencer's administration.
People have been talking about deaths in this jail for too long, and we still haven't seen change.
Waldron told us that based off the surveillance footage they saw on Tuesday, they're expecting to move forward with the lawsuit relatively quickly. After Hayes was found dead, Interim Commissioner of Corrections Doug Burris said that his department was cooperating fully with the investigation. Robert?
Annie, thanks for your report. Right now, the Major K Squad is investigating a deadly shooting in Madison, Illinois. Police say it happened just after 1 this afternoon along Washington and Wayne Lantern Avenues. That's where they found a man dead in the street from gunshots. Police have not said anything at this hour about possible suspects. Tonight, Hazelwood police are searching for a suspect who dragged an officer with their car. It happened this morning during a traffic stop along Burke Ridge Drive. An officer connected the car to an active warrant in St. Louis County. The driver sped off during the stop, dragging the officer. Now, the officer was taken to the hospital with unknown injuries. The suspect's car is described as a gold Buick SUV. Anyone who has any information about this is asked to call police. Today, dozens of people protested in the streets over cuts made by President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. Members of the Service Employees International Union held the protest along Bompard Avenue in Webster Groves. They say the cuts will impact everything from health care to food.
Politicians and our elected officials need to put our families first and protect us, not the wealthy few.
Protesters say they anticipate the Trump administration will expand cuts into other federally funded programs. Because of this, they plan to step up and help impacted neighbors. Today, they collected donations to support a local food pantry. Tomorrow, thousands of free backpacks will be given to families all across the St. Louis area. Round Room is holding its 13th annual School Rocks backpack giveaway at Verizon stores nationwide and here in our area. The Verizon retailer says it wants to ease the financial burden of back-to-school shopping for families. The giveaway starts at 1 p.m. We have a list of participating Verizon locations right now on KSDK.com. Just click this story on the As Seen on TV section. We're just 6 days away from tax-free weekend for back-to-school shopping. We have everything you need to know. Just text the word tax to 314-425-5355 and we'll send that link to your phone. An unwelcome guest. President Trump is met with protests on his trip to the UK. There are calls against the administration as the president works towards another trade deal. Rising temperatures leads to a rise in AC breakdowns.
Today is a lot of calls about just AC not working at all.
What you need to know to cool down and avoid a meltdown.
Isolated storm concerns tonight, also scattered storms Sunday, dangerous heat and humidity through Tuesday. I'll break down both weather impacts.
Developing in Scotland tonight, President Donald Trump's visit to the United Kingdom is igniting protests. Trump is expected to have trade talks with the UK Prime Minister and the President of the European Commission while he's there. However, people across the UK are denouncing the president's policies and criticizing the British government for, quote, pandering to him.
I'm very ashamed. Mortified, very ashamed, and I'm sure his mother would be. I think he's just the worst thing that has happened to your country and to the world, and a threat to all of us, threat to democracy.
Neither the president or the British Prime Minister has responded to the protests. A federal judge threw out a Trump administration lawsuit over Chicago's sanctuary city policy. The 64-page decision was issued yesterday. The ruling cites the 10th Amendment as the reason for the case being dismissed. That amendment gives states control over powers not specified to the federal government. The judge said states have the right not to participate in enforcing civil immigration laws. A new controversial women's-only app created to help them date safely has been hacked. The company behind the T app confirmed thousands of images, including users' IDs, were leaked online. Now, 59,000 images of posts, comments, and direct messages were also accessed. T says the breach only affects people who signed up for the app before February of 2024. Tonight, the company says all data is now secured.
An extreme heat warning continues for the metro and expanding a little further east and south, even St. Genevieve County until 7 p.m. on Tuesday. The rest of the area has a heat advisory. Plus, we have storms to take a look at coming up.
Tonight, millions of Americans are dealing with dangerous heat, humidity, and storms. It's been a soggy 24 hours across parts of the Midwest, with some areas experiencing flash flooding. Listen to this. One storm even caused a tree to fall onto this home in Kansas City.
I thought maybe we were going to war already or something, because this sounded like a bomb going off. That tree hit, it shook the whole house, and my wife and I both, we just jumped up in bed and said, what the is going on? So we flipped a couple of lights on, we looked, we saw water running in our ceiling.
This weekend, more than 80 million people are under a major heat risk, with feel-like temperatures reaching the triple digits. For some areas now, the extreme heat will continue well into next week. All this hot weather could actually be making our bodies age faster. That's according to a new study that analyzed 3,600 people over 55 years old. Researchers found this group can age 14 months faster if they spend at least 140 days in a heat index over 90 degrees. They say accelerated biological aging increases the risk of cancer, dementia, diabetes, and early death. This extreme heat isn't just impacting your health, but it could also hit your wallet. With HVAC systems in overdrive, breakdowns and repairs are definitely on the rise. 5 on Your Side's Travis Cummings has tips to help you save money while protecting your home.
It's hot. I've been everywhere from an attic. I've been in some tight spaces, dark places, and outside a lot.
On this brutal summer weekend in St. Louis, HVAC techs like Demetrius Shaw are hustling to keep homes cool as the heat bears down. From house to house, he's tackling the calls that spike with extreme temperatures. So what types of jobs are you responding to today?
Today is a lot of calls about just AC not working at all. And actually a lot of those ACs that aren't working, a lot of those issues have been related to maintenance not being done. The inside, the filter is honestly the best way for a homeowner to take care of their inside unit. That filter allows your system to breathe.
Simple steps can make a difference. Hoffman Brothers recommends things like keeping curtains and blinds closed, limiting appliance use during the afternoon, programming your thermostat higher when you're away, and never turning off your AC completely.
I see a lot of customers that have brick houses that tends to struggle during the heat because brick holds heat, and once that heat goes to the brick, it goes to insulation. So a lot of AC systems, they have to run a lot longer than normal.
Want to avoid major repairs and save money down the road? Annual maintenance is key.
One, you get a track record of what's to come, okay? We update you on things that could potentially cost you down the road as far as repair goes and things and to what to expect, basically.
Travis Cummings, 5 on Your Side.
Helpful information there. Experts also recommend looking into a home protection plan that could help cut down on long-term maintenance costs. Visit KSDK.com for more resources on how to stay safe in this dangerous heat. We can also send that link to your phone. Just text the word HEAT to 314-425-5355. Turning now to weather, and Jim, I hear you had some unlucky hours this week. I guess your AC broke down?
It did for about 24 hours. A little, even the temperature inside the place got to 85. So the dogs and I had to go to the neighbors. I mean, it got really hot. So finally got that repaired, thank goodness. But I can tell you, if you're having an issue, make sure you find AC, ask for help. Because this is really intense heat all the way through Tuesday evening, and we're talking 110 plus for the heat index as we get into especially Monday and Tuesday. With some storms around today and also tomorrow, that heat index still well over 100, but not as bad as it'll be Monday and Tuesday. So hydrate, take breaks, and again, find some AC. already storms are beginning to pop up. So we're watching these, not expecting severe weather, but you get that lightning and those downpours anywhere from Lincoln County and Millwood to Ellsbury to Jerseyville and Jersey County. And look at this, a massive strokes of lightning right through this area here, and really hundreds of them, all the way into Macoupin County and Montgomery County. So anywhere from Jerseyville to Millwood to Verdon. And then we have just north of there a flood watch in effect until tomorrow afternoon. So we'll watch these, Eolia all the way into Calhoun County and Illinois, watching these with heavy rain and also that lightning. But then you go further south of Interstate 70, not much is going on. So we'll see. These also produce those outflow boundaries that set up and trigger more showers and storms tomorrow afternoon and evening. So we're dealing with that as we head through this heat and humidity. And what we had today in terms of showers and storms, let's zoom in. We did have a flood advisory right through here that included New Athens with about 2 to 3 inches of rain, even back to Hecker. And that is in Monroe County and also part of St. Clair County in Illinois. So 87 degrees right now, heat index 96 degrees, and we had just a sprinkle driving in this morning throughout the St. Louis area, but very heavy rain nearby. And we'll watch these showers and storms overnight and into tomorrow. Really, this futurecast is not really picking up on the shower and storm activity, but what we're watching is this area of high pressure that will build into the area as we get into Tuesday. And that's that pink that you see on there. As that continues to build, this will cause our extreme heat and humidity. Our biggest days are Monday and Tuesday, but it breaks down. And by the end of the week, we're going to see a big cool down and much better weather. So here we go. 7-day forecast, 92 tomorrow, watching showers and storms pop up again. Monday and Tuesday dry, 98 Monday, 99 on Tuesday. Wednesday showers and storms, still hot, still humid, 93, but then 84 Thursday, chance of rain. By Friday, we're drying out, 82. Wow. And 83 by next Saturday. So things look a lot better by the end of the week.
And 80s cool down.
Yeah.
Love it. Hey, Jim, thanks.
Thanks.
Corey's here now with what's coming up in sports.
Well, Robert, summertime in St. Louis can make everybody a bit on edge these days. We certainly saw some sparks fly at Busch Stadium tonight and a bit more over at Energizer Park. Lots to talk about in sports coming up after the break. I try my best to be a positive guy. Right now, just looking at the standings, you can be positive. The Cardinals have beat the Padres the past 2 days and sit just a game and a half out of a playoff spot. But that trade deadline on Thursday is still looming awfully large. Matthew Liberatore back on the hill for his first start of the second half. He was good in 4 1/3. Cards down 1-0 after a Victor Scott error in center. And this guy has been getting hot at the plate. Jordan Walker keeps blistering the baseball. Smokes that one to center. That scores Nolan Arenado. Tie game. Padres got back on top on this bunt from Bryce Johnson. 2-1 San Diego. Some amazing Cardinals infield defense tonight. Brendan Donovan going to use every inch of his vertical to catch that one to save a run. Amazing play from Donnie. Nolan Arenado, patented jump throw for the out at second base there. Almost had some fireworks early. Wilson Contreras got hit again to add to his NL lead. He's not happy, but cooler heads prevailed for now. Back to the defense. Mason Wynn showing off his cannon. And then Donovan again with a huge jump, and Contreras with a stretch on the other end. Man, that entire infield came to play tonight. Told you, though, the hit-by-pitch saga wasn't over. Manny Machado got hit twice tonight. After the second one, he showed his frustration. Lots of folks on the field, little jostling, little yelling. Cardinals coach John Jay was actually ejected, but no punches thrown. Unfortunately, the Cardinals offense could not punch back either. Padres shut down the St. Louis lineup as San Diego wins 3-1.
At the end of the day, you just got a bunch of dudes playing baseball with a lot of passion, and no one likes getting hit, but it's going to happen from time to time. But I think you got 2 teams that are fighting hard for what's next, and I don't have an issue with it.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
There was a point differential of 23 between the two clubs on the pitch tonight at Energizer Park. But although Minnesota United may have been the heavy favorite, City SC wasn't going to let them off easy. Devin Padelford and Sangbin Yong right in the lineup for City against their old club. City draws first blood. Thomas Ostrak taken down in the box. That's a penalty shot. Guess who's going to take it? Well, of course, it's Edward Leuven, and of course, he buries it. City leads 1-0. Second half, deja vu in a bad way. Chris Durkin called for the red card in the box. He's kicked out of the game, and Minnesota gets a PK. Kelvin Yeboah converts to tie the game in the 75th minute. Then some more bad deja vu. Playing a man down, City gets another penalty in front of Roman Berkey. That leads to another Yeboah PK, and right at the 90-minute mark, another conversion. Yet another heartbreaker for City. Minnesota wins 2-1. Canton, Ohio, home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame and today's Women's Football Alliance Championship game. The St. Louis Slam looking to repeat as champs against the DC Divas. Big plays in this game. Jamie Gall to carry McMahon, who mystifies the entire Diva defense on her way to the end zone. DC led 7-6 at that point, but the Slam would turn it on in the second half after a long rain delay. They're up 19-14, and then Jada Humphrey is going to ice the game. A 50-yard touchdown run to put it out of reach and give the Slam back-to-back championships. St. Louis wins 26-14. We almost had quite the brawl at Busch Stadium. Thankfully, everybody just decided to control themselves, but it was very close to getting out of hand.
When the heat was getting to him?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be getting to me if I was out there all night.
Corey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. How about a final look at the weather, Jim?
Yeah, the heat can get to you for sure, and that humidity also. Plus, the low-level jet is ramping up, so showers and storm chances overnight tonight, especially north of Interstate 70. And then all of us have a chance of storms in here as we get into tomorrow. But it's going to be hot, remaining hot all the way through Tuesday, and then a little bit of a break Wednesday, a better break Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A big break.
We'll have to take it easy when we get out there. That's 5 on your side at 10. Saturday Night Live is coming your way next. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 6 a.m. Have a great tomorrow, everybody.